Toru is a broke, jobless loser, just like you all, and he would rather look in the forest for wild veggies and magic shrooms instead of applying for jobs in the city. He was not always a worthless loser with 0 ounces of motivation and self-esteem, though he used to be a mercenary. But the era of wars is long gone and no one needs him anymore. Toru is trying to find food in the forest behind his city to make dinner. Suddenly he senses some motion in the bushes, and he thinks that it is a small animal. He gets ready to hunt it, but to his surprise a girl carrying a coffin on her back pops out of it. The girl, Cha, is shocked to see a human in the forest and immediately tries to escape by hiding under the green cover. But she is quite dumb and finds herself in front of Toru again. He is quite confused on seeing this Dumbo as well, and on top of that she keeps talking like Inumaki from JJK, using only one word at a time. She mistakes Toru for a bandit on seeing a machete in his hand, but he explains that he is a poor jobless guy. He then asks her what she is doing with the coffin, and suspects that she is a murderer carrying her latest victim in the coffin. CH gets defensive at this, and explains that she is just a harmless traveler, and she is taking the coffin along with her just for the aesthetic. She says that she was trying to reach the next city unnoticed, and took the forest route through it, but got lost. Toru offers to take her to the city if she can treat him to breakfast, but before the girl can even give him an answer, he spots a dangerous unicorn monster coming towards them. He immediately grabs Chica's arm and runs, but she trips because of the coffin's weight. He tells her to ditch it because the unicorn has spotted them, but she tells him that it is too precious, and she can never leave it. Toru suddenly gets an idea, and he jumps into a river along with Chika, using the coffin as a boat. Once they reach solid ground, Toru tells Chika that they can't escape the unicorn because it has caught their scent. He has no energy in his body because he has not eaten anything for 3 days and thinks that they are both going to die here. Chika, however, doesn't give up hope so easily, and she opens her coffin and reveals a secret compartment that has a sniper set up inside it. Toru is shocked because only wizards use sniper guns like that, and Cha tells him that she is a loser who can only use this type of magic. But it should be enough to beat the unicorn. However, she needs some time to prepare her spell, and she cannot move during that time. Toru tells her to start preparing immediately because he can buy her some time. He begins chanting a spell to use the iron blood transformation technique, turning his body as hard as steel. Just then the unicorn comes there and Toru charges at it to distract it. While Chika is getting her gun ready, he latches onto the unicorn even when it dives into the river and then takes to the skies and keeps stabbing it to weaken it. The unicorn somehow pushes him off its back, but by that time CH has completed her spell. She takes aim at the monster and then fires the magic bullet, splitting it in half. Toru comes out of the river and deactivates his transformation, and then Chika comes running to him. She is really excited because he was not a loser like she thought, and in fact he was much stronger. She agrees to let him take her to the city in exchange for breakfast, and Toru starts eating like a starved pig before his sister Ari comes there. This crazy thrashes the place without even be bothering to ask what happened, because she is too jealous that he is eating the best meal of his life here while she was waiting for him to return with the wild vegetables. The entire judges Toru as he somehow survives the attacks from Ari's heavy hammer. In the end, he clears up the situation with his sister somehow and gets Chika to pay the landlady for the damages, who calls him a total loser, who lets a woman pay the bill. However, Tu has been marinating in his shamelessness for years, so it doesn't bother him. He then explains everything that has happened since he met Chika in detail, and Ari finds it hard to believe that they really killed the unicorn. Suddenly Chika tells Akari that she has a job request for them, because both of them are strong. Toru doesn't want to take a job because he loves the jobless life, but when Ari threatens to forcefully open his OnlyFans account, he agrees to take the job. He takes Chika to his house, where she tells him that they need to raid the house of Count Abarth, who is one of the 8 heroes who killed Emperor Arthur, and then they need to steal something from his place. She refuses to tell Toru and Akari what they are going to steal and tells them that the mission is going to be dangerous. However, it is something truly important to her, and she is willing to do whatever it takes to complete it. That night, Toru, Akari, and Chika sneak into the mansion quite easily because there is no guard in the entire building. However, they have some trouble because Chika insists on bringing along the coffin, and that is enough to alert the Count. Unaware of that, Chika uses her magic gun to fire a detection spell and finds that the item she wants is in the center of the mansion. Toru decides to take the first floor and asks the girls to cover the second floor together. He sneaks around the first floor and soon comes to a room in the center. As soon as he enters it, Count Abarth also comes there, and he thinks that Toru belongs to the clan organization who came to meet him in the afternoon regarding a rare artifact. Toru doesn't even understand what the old man is rambling about, but Abarth uses his magic and starts hurling swords at him. Toru dodges them all, and then Ari comes there to back him up. She throws her knives at Abarth, but they also become his weapons. Once they reach his magic field, Toru tells Akari and Cha to get away, but as the old man sees CH, he goes limp and drops all the knives. He begins trembling as he walks backward, saying that she can't be alive. He is sure that he and his friends had killed Chika in the past, and he doesn't understand how she can be here before him. He decides to finish her this time and immediately sends the knives and swords to attack her. Toru quickly pulls Chika out of the room and Akari shuts the door in time to save everyone. They run away and hide in the library, where Toru wonders how Abar can use magic without a wand or spells. Cha thinks that the entire mansion acts as his magic weapon, and he can control everything inside the mansion freely. She thinks that the item she wants to steal should be near the core of the magic weapon, and says that if they destroy it, Abarth won't be able to use magic. Toru decides to split up again, and he tells the girls to find and destroy the weapon. While he lures Abarth away from him, suddenly the books in the room start floating, and before they can hit them, all of them are out of the room. Toru goes to the corridor and activates his iron blood transformation before facing Abarth, who sends a powerful wind spell at him. Toru dodges that by hiding behind the corner, but then Abar sends swords to attack him. He keeps blocking and running away and makes a puppet using a curtain to ambush him. However, Abar was ready for that too, and he hits Toru with a chair. When he leaps from the roof, Toru realizes that he can't win, so he keeps running to distract Abarth. While Cha and Akari reach the center of the mansion, Akari begins to do what she does best and wrecks the room, finding a hidden locker behind a mirror. Chika says that the magic weapon must be hidden inside it, but Ari can't break it open because a magic barrier is protecting it. Cha uses a dispelling spell to remove the barrier, and as the locker opens, she finds a jar with a severed hand inside it. Akari is about to destroy it, but Chika stops her, saying that this hand is the important thing she was looking for. On the other hand, Toru lays another trap for Abarth, who is not even in a hurry to catch him because he is confident about his victory. He tells Toru that he recognizes his transformation ability and says that the peaceful world must be a really boring place for a mercenary like him. He mocks him for becoming a lowly thief after losing his job and says that he must be here for the powerful artifact he won after defeating the wicked emperor. He attacks Toru with anything he can find and knocks him to the ground, saying that after he kills him, he will kill Cha too. He sends some knight statues to finish him off, but they suddenly fall apart midway, and Toru realizes that the girls have succeeded in destroying the magic weapon. He immediately ties a string around Abarth's feet and then activates his trap, hanging him upside down from the roof. Just then Cha and Akari return with the hand and tell Toru that they need to leave. Now they start running away, but Abarth asks Chika what she plans to do with the hand. He tells her that it can create disaster if it falls in the wrong hands and offers to buy it from her at whatever price she wants, but Toru nudges her to move ahead. They distract the guards with some fireworks and then reach the city. Toru asks Chika about the hand and why it is important to her, but instead of answering his question, she gives him his payment and says she is grateful that he helped her. Toru realizes she wants to say that they don't have anything to do with each other now, but just as he is about to receive the money, he senses danger and pushes Chika back, saving her from a swift dart. They turn around to see a group of 3 people coming towards them, and their leader, Gillette, asks Toru and Akari to go home now, because being associated with Cha will not be good for them. Toru asks who the hell he is, and Gillette tells him that he is here to arrest Cha and take the hand back. And since Toru and his sister were simply hired by her without knowing the truth, he doesn't hold them guilty for what they have done. He gives him a final warning to leave, but Toru signals to Akari and she uses a smoke bomb to escape. Toru then tells Akari to take Cha and the coffin. While he decides to hold on to the hand, Cha is reluctant to give it to him, but Toru assures her that he will keep it safe and return it to her once he gives the slip to the pursuers. Chika finally gives him the hand and Toru goes to the streets to lure Gillette and his men into following him. They come after him with a giant tank, and he escapes into a narrow street to avoid them. The big guy from the gang follows after him, and Toru lures him to a bridge to start the fight. He throws the jar at him to keep both his hands busy, and then starts attacking him. The guy rolls the jar away and fights back, but Toru uses his superior agility to overwhelm him and knocks him out. He picks up the jar and tries to make a run for it, but unfortunately, he has been trapped between the tank and Gillette. Cha and Akari are also hiding nearby, and they watch the drama unfold. Gillette asks too if he defeated his underling, but he refuses to answer. Gillette then asks him if he even knows who Chika is and tells him that if he helps her, he will turn the whole world into his enemy. Toru asks him to tell him who Cha truly is, and Gillette decides to reveal the highly classified information about her and his mission. He says that the item he is holding right now is the hand of the tyrannical Emperor Arthur Gaz, who was the strongest wizard in history. His evil deeds are known to all and everyone knows that he was defeated by the 8 heroes 5 years ago. However, not many people know that his daughter escaped from the capital at that time. Gillette tells too that Chica's full name is Chagaz and she is the daughter of the Mad Emperor, who is on a mission to his body parts. He says that they cannot let her roam free, because there are still many people who are loyal to Arthur and they plan to start a war to make Chica the emperor. Also, Arthur's body parts are a great source of mana, and if they fall into the wrong hands, they could become weapons of mass destruction. He urges Toru to hand over the girl and the hand to them, but Toru looks at Cha and makes up his mind. He tells Gillette that he doesn't give her about this peaceful world, and it would be better for him if the world were plunged into war again. Gillette is shocked by his shamelessness, and then suddenly Akari joins the party. She attacks Gillette and his girl, giving Chica the chance to fire a flashbang spell towards them. While Gillette and his group are blinded by the light, Toru and Akari escape along with Cha. They go to their house to pack their things, and Toru tells Akari that she doesn't have to come with him because this is going to be a life-threatening mission. She tells him that she is with him to the end, and once they are done packing, they go to see Chica. She asks them why they are helping her despite knowing the truth, and Toru tells her that he was not being sarcastic earlier, and a world full of war would be fine for him. Chica tells him that she doesn't want a war, and she just wants to gather her father's parts to give him a proper funeral. Toru promises that he will help her in doing that, and Chica is grateful for that. Soon they set out on a journey without a clear objective in mind, but more people are already on their tail. Soon they ride a carriage to another city, and everyone keeps staring at the coffin they are carrying. Even when they reach the city, everyone judges them because of the coffin. So while Akari goes to restock their supplies, Toru covers up the coffin with a cloth to make it seem less suspicious. He then tells Chica that they need to wait for Ari to get back, but he has a hard time keeping her with him because she gets distracted by every other thing. Luckily, Ari returns soon and tells them that she has found an inn where they can eat for cheap once they start eating. Toru asks Cha what they should do next because as their employer, she should have a plan. Cha replies that she doesn't know where the next hero with her father's body parts is. She says that someone reached out to her and informed her about Abarth, and Toru suspects that it must be one of the people who want to start a war in Cha's name that Gillette mentioned. She is not really concerned about that part, and Toru wonders if everything will be fine. Suddenly Akari says that while she was buying food, she heard that the ruler of the city is also one of the 8 heroes. Toru says that she should have told that first, but she says that she was waiting for the right chance. Toru asks her more about the ruler, but the waitress who is serving their food says that no one knows where the Lord lives, and the people of the city haven't even seen her face. Toru sees a treasure trove of information in the chatty lady and asks if there are any rumors about the Lord. She tells him that the only thing she has heard is that the ruler is actually a female knight who has a contract with a powerful and ferocious dragon that eats anyone who even looks at it. The woman really gets into a gossip mood and even asks some guys to share the rumors they have heard. The men tell her to go back to the kitchen, where she belongs, because it is pointless gossiping about their ruler. The woman agrees with them and says that the rumors should not concern a jobless traveler like him. Anyway, Chica pays for their meal, and they decide to find a room to spend the night in the city. The first inn they find rejects them because they don't allow coffins inside, and Chica is pissed. As they are searching the city for another place to stay the night, they find Gillette's tank and immediately hide in a silent street. Toru says that they need to get out of the city immediately, when suddenly someone calls out to him from behind, and he turns around to see them standing there. Toru gets bad vibes from this guy, and he immediately slashes him, but it turns out that he only hid an illusion. Toru is shocked by this, and the boy tells him that he shouldn't have been so hasty to attack him. Cha recognizes the boy named Guy, who is the informant who told her about her dad's hand in a bar's mansion. Toru asks Guy if he is a minion of the previous emperor who wants to restore his empire, and Guy denies that allegation. He says that he just wants to give Cha the information and help she wants, and he has no intentions beyond that. Toru refuses to believe him, but Chica trusts him because he gave her the correct info about Abar. Guy then says that they should be having a tough time without their personal vehicle, and Chica agrees, adding that their journey will become much easier if they have a car. Guy tells her that she should head to the forest, and near a spring she will find a lot of abandoned vehicles from the previous war. He adds that the hero with the emperor's parts is named Dominica, and she lives deep within the forest. Guy vanishes with that, and Toru doesn't understand what kind of trick he was using. Anyway, they head to the forest, and just as Guy had told them, they find some abandoned cars. Since they run on magic, Cha is the only one who can drive them. She plugs herself into one of the cars and finds that it is functional, but it needs a lot of cleaning and repair. While she cleans and repairs the car, Akari gathers some veggies and shrooms, and Toru lays out traps and alarms around the site when he returns. Chika has finished repairing the car, but she drives it straight into the water, which reminds me of my sister's driving license test. Anyway, they sit down to eat at night, and Chika tries cooking up a rabbit with magic only to blast it up. They find the charred remains and start eating them nonetheless, and Toru says that they need to set up some rules they will follow from now on. Akari is dumbfounded because she has never seen him so motivated, and on top of that, he is taking the lead voluntarily. Toru knows that those words are not compliments, and he says that they have other options because Akari and Cha are so dumb that even if he adds their IQ, it will be less than room temperature. He says that if the hero called Dominika really commands a dragon, they are in for a tough time. He hopes that they can negotiate with her, because if they fail, they don't have any chances of winning. Akari starts telling horror stories about dragons, and Cha closes her ears in horror. Akari then says that she has also heard that dragons sleep soundly at night, and Toru decides to start their journey right after the meal. Cha and Toru stay in the front while Akari stays inside the car. As they drive ahead, Toru asks Cha how she escaped the capital during the raid of the 8 heroes and how she survived till now with so many people after her. Chika gets gloomy as she explains that she was always out inside the empire. She doesn't have all her memories and says that she only remembers the time before the war, and the ending of the war is vague in her mind. Toru pies her when suddenly Ari pops out of the window to tell him that some monsters are following them. He notices them too and realizes that it is a pack of wolf monsters. He tells Cha to get as much speed as she can in 5 seconds and then shut the engine because the monster wolves can Pikachu her. She does just as he says and barely avoids getting hit by a thunderbolt. Toru takes her inside the car and then tells Ari to look after her. As he jumps outside and takes down a monster, he holds it hostage so that the other wolves back away, but they start chanting a spell and Toru realizes too late that there was a monster behind him too. The monster wolf hits him with a powerful thunderbolt, knocking him down. The wolves circle him, aiming to devour him. When suddenly they start hesitating and step back, a badass female knight walks towards Toru from the darkness, and as she tells the wolves to get lost, they run away in terror, and Toru can only stare at her in awe. The knight asks Toru if the townspeople didn't tell him that this area was dangerous. He tries to get up as he tells her that he is a traveler who just got lost, and the female knight introduces herself as Dominika. Toru had already guessed that much, and he thanks her for saving his life. Dominika tells him that it is no big deal, and says that since it will be dangerous to return to the city on his own, he should spend the night at her place. Toru doesn't understand if Dominika is just thirsty for some action, or if she is a good person who wants to help him. Either way, he starts feeling bad about stealing from her already. Anyway, he and his girls start following Dominika to her isolated mansion in the middle of the forest, and Ari remarks that it doesn't look well guarded. He tells her that if Dominika really has a dragon, she doesn't need any guards and she is plenty strong herself. He tells the girls that surprise attacks won't work because now she has seen their faces. But Cha forgets about the mission and tells Toru to ask for lodging and food from her. Toru reminds her that they are here to steal her father's remains, and Cha pouts because she wanted to just relax for a bit. They soon reach the mansion, and Dominika uses magic to change into her regular clothing. As she reaches the door, she asks Toru what his relation is with the girls, but before he can answer, Ari steps up and cooks a story on the spot. She says that Toru is her blood-related brother, and they fell in Sweet Home, Alabama love. However, their family was against that, so they had to run away from home, but their family sent some people to capture them. That is why they had to travel through dangerous forests at night. While Toru thinks that Ari has ruined everything, Dominika turns out to be a forbidden love enjoyer, and she tells them that they can stay in her house for as long as they like. They enter the house with that, and Chika asks Toru why he did not tell her about his forbidden love story with Ari. He tells her that there's nothing like that, and on top of that, they are not even blood-related siblings, but mercenaries who grew up together. Once they reach the house, they are shocked to find that Dominika is a narcissist, and she has her statues and portraits all around the place. She tells them to take any room they want, because all of them are empty. They find a classroom, and to their shock, there are Dominika's statues and portraits. There too, Toru decides to split up and look around the place, but Chika is terrified of this creepy house. In the end, they search the mansion together and find that no one else lives there. Everywhere they go, there are Dominika's statues, and there is also a hologram projector in the middle of the garden. The only living being in the building is a cat, and Chika immediately picks it up because it looks friendly. She brings the cat to the room while they discuss their strategy, and Toru says that he plans to ask Dominika to give them. The emperor remains directly, and if she refuses, they may have to fight. Cha doesn't like the idea of fighting someone who was so kind to them, but Toru reminds her that Dominica killed her father, and she might consider her an enemy too. He tells Chika to decide their approach because she is his employer right now, and he will do whatever she wants the next morning. Akari prepares breakfast for everyone, and, as they are eating, Toru starts small talk with Dominica. He asks if it is true that she commands a dragon, and she affirms saying that right now it is somewhere far away. Toru sees this as a positive, and then asks her if she has a part of Emperor Arthur, since she defeated him. Dominica affirms that too, and then Toru asks her if she can hand that part over to him. Everyone is shocked by his suddenness, and Dominica asks him, why does he want that? Toru replies that he wants it to fulfill the wishes of someone special to him. Dominica pulls out her sword and points it towards him, but he doesn't even flinch. She tells him that he will need to defeat her to get the parts, and Toru accepts the challenge. Later, as he tries to come up with a plan, Akari is not even interested, because Toru said that Cha was the special one for him, and Cha keeps blushing, thinking that he proposed to her anyway. He gets them to their senses and explains that the woman they have seen should not be the real Dominica, because if she was the real deal, she should have recognized Chika. Just like a Chika also tells him that when she used search magic, she found something big hidden inside the mansion, even though they didn't find anything. Toru thinks that something crazy is going on here, and he thinks that the truth will be revealed when they fight Dominica. That night, Toru and Akari go to fight Dominica in her courtyard, and he taunts her, saying that he is afraid that he may accidentally kill her before finding where. She tells them where the Emperor's remains are. Dominica tells them that they won't be able to even scratch her, but still tells them that the Emperor's parts are hidden under the hologram projector. She summons her sword while Toru and Akari transform to fight her. They attack her from both sides, but Dominica easily overpowers both of them. Toru managed to land a hit on her, but she just pulls out the knife from her shoulder, and her wound heals instantly. She tells him that her head is her only weak point, and unless he attacks with enough power to destroy her brain, she will keep on regenerating instantly. Toru says that she should not be revealing her secrets to her enemies, but Dominica says that it won't matter because they won't be able to hit her. Akari immediately attacks her after that and lures her inside the mansion, where Chika is ready with her sniper rifle. However, because Dominica is moving too fast, she cannot aim properly. Dominica moves ahead and reaches the garden while chasing after Ari, and Toru arrives there shortly. As the hologram projector suddenly activates, he realizes what is really happening here and immediately kicks the projector. Dominica is shocked to see this, and then Toru starts destroying all the statues one by one. Dominica grows more flustered and asks him what the hell he is doing, and her reaction is all he wanted to see. Toru tells her to stop pretending to be a human because he now knows that she is a dragon. He thinks that Dominica abandoned her after the war and unable to live without her master. The dragon created these statues to keep seeing her. Each day, the woman tells him that it is not true and attacks him, and Toru blocks all her attacks while keeping her in one place, allowing Chika to lock her as the target. She fires once Toru is out of the way, and as the magic bullet hits her, the woman turns into a dragon. She still keeps fighting against Toru and Ari, but then the poison in the bullet kicks in, causing her to collapse for a while. Just as her body neutralizes the poison and she gets up, Cha fires another round, tearing her wings. Finally, Toru leaps up and strikes the dragon's forehead with his full strength, fatally injuring her. She turns back into Dominica again, and Toru asks her what happened to her master. The dragon woman tells him that Dominica fell ill after the war ended and died soon after she was left alone and unwanted after her master's death. So she took her form and put up statues and pictures all around the house because she didn't want to ever forget about her. She says that the real Dominica wanted to fight till the end, and following her wishes, she also wanted to fight someone who could kill her. She asks Tu to finish her now, but he refuses, saying that their deal was just to defeat her. He takes the eyes of the former emperor out of the magic projector and gives them to Cha, and then starts heading out. However, the fake Dominica gets up and uses magic to completely change her appearance. She tells Toru that she has lost her purpose after losing to him, so now she has a new goal in mind, and that is to kill him. She suddenly bites his hand, and then took injuries instantly heal. Dominica tells him that she wants to fight him again when he is in peak shape, and for that she is going to stick around for a bit later. Everyone leaves the mansion on the carriage, and they are shocked to realize that the stray cat Chika picked up yesterday was Demmin in disguise. She is still in the cat form and lies on Chika's lap without a care. But Toru doesn't enjoy the fact that someone who wants to kill him is traveling alongside him. A few days later they reach another city, and Cha goes inside without informing anyone. She asks some really shady-looking guys if they know where the hero lives, and they tell her that they can show her the hero's house. She gladly goes with them, but then Toru comes there and knocks two of them out. The third guy pulls out a knife, but then Dominica jumps down from the rooftop in her dragon form and crushes the poor bastard. Chica starts lashing out at Toru for hurting the nice men who were giving her information, and he tells her that they were going to ship her to Epstein Island. He brings her back outside the city, where their car is parked, and scolds her for going to the city alone. Cha gets upset and says that she just wanted to help because she feels that she is the most useless person in the group. Toru tells her that she doesn't need to worry too much because she hired him and Ari for the job. Chica says that they have not seen Guy in a long time and she is growing impatient. So Toru picks Dominica up and asks her if she knows anything about the remaining 6 heroes, because she must have seen them during the war. Dominica doesn't like how he is treating her, so she just slaps him and runs away. Toru returns to consoling Cha, and just then Akari arrives with some reptiles and bugs she has caught for dinner. Along with that, she also has some worrying news. She pulls out a wanted poster for the 3 of them, and though it looks like a kindergartner drew it, it is enough to identify their faces. Toru decides to move on to the next city immediately, but as they are crossing some ruins, he notices that someone is following them. Suddenly they find someone standing in the middle of the road and Chica stops the car. Toru tells the hooded person to move, but she tells him to hand over everything he has to her. Toru tells her to rob the next car because they are borderline homeless people, but the girl pulls out a sword to fight. Instead, Toru tells Cha to get her sniper rifle ready as he steps out to fight the thief. But to his shock, the sword turns out to be a snake blade, which is what happens when a sword and a whip do it without protection. Toru gets pushed back by the girl, but he manages to use his skills to get the control back. He disarms her and then attacks her, forcing her hood off her head, and to his utter shock, she looks the same as Chica. He wonders what is happening when suddenly the ruins behind their car explode, sending debris towards the car. Ari pushes Chica to safety first, and then gets out before the car is completely blocked. But then a man with the second Chica grabs the original one. He tells Toru to surrender, but Akari attacks him to take Chica back. The sniper magician from the enemy team starts attacking her, preventing her from reaching Cha. In the meantime, Toru takes down the second Cha and tells her group to hand over his girl to him. While they are stuck in a negotiation deadlock, they see Gillette's tank coming towards them and the enemy group decides to run away with Cha. Toru realizes that they don't have any choice either, so he takes the second Cha with him and escapes the area quickly. Gillette's team only finds the car stuck in the rocks and the signs of a battle, and they decide to split up in hopes of tracking Chica. Meanwhile, Toru and Akari have tied the second Chica and stripped her to her underwear to see if she has any hidden weapons. She also talks one word at a time and calls both of them PDF files. But Toru doesn't really care what people call him. He asks her who she is and why she did it, but she doesn't tell him anything. He gets confused about what to call him, so Ari decides to name her Sticky just for funsies. The girl gets annoyed when they keep calling her Sticky, so she tells them that her name is Chica, and that confuses the siblings. They try to question her more, but she keeps her mouth shut. Akari picks up a burning stick and says that they should torture her, and Toru whips out his knife as he agrees. Their torture method is to eat delicious food in front of Sticky, and she folds soon enough and Toru makes her jump like a puppy to get her food just to mess with her. On the other hand, Chica is with Sticky's partners and they have done basically the same thing to her. The warrior tells her to rest assured because he is not into flat stumps like her, because he likes his women curvy as hell. His partner punches him for being a pervert and says that since Chica doesn't have any parts of the emperor, she must keep them in the coffin, just like their Chica. They find that their personalities are different, but both the girls look alike and call themselves the emperor's daughter. They tell Cha that there are more of them and they have seen 3 already. The warrior leaves on a patrol contract and reaches the car where Toru has left a note about hostage exchange. He returns back to his hideout without even noticing that 2 people from Gillette's party have found him, and they start preparing to take them down. Meanwhile, Toru learns from Sticky that her mission is to gather all of her father's remains and then get revenge on everyone who killed him. Toru is surprised to see that her mission is so different from Chica and says that she must be a fake. Sticky gets angry at this and says that his Chica is the fake one. However, when Toru asks about her memories, she tells him that she also has a huge gap in her memories, and he realizes that something crazy is going on that he has not understood yet. The next morning, both groups meet at the waterfall to exchange hostages, and it is the first time that 2 Chas come face to face. Toru says that they should start the hostage exchange, but tells Sticky's group that if their sniper tries to do anything, he will pull the rope and detonate the bomb in Sticky's bag. The warrior thinks that he is bluffing, but Toru tells him to fool around and find out. They both agree to exchange the host ages before anything else. But just as the 2 girls reach the middle ground, a bunch of bird monsters suddenly attack them. Toru and the warrior protect the girls from the magic attacks of the birds that drive any living thing. They hit mad, causing even fish to jump out of water. They are being controlled by Gillette's teammate, who wants to overload everyone's senses to the point of madness so that he can capture them alive. Toru and the warrior have a tough time fighting against the monsters, but then the female sniper from the other group starts shooting the river to create a smoke screen. Toru does the same and pulls the rope to release smoke from Sticky's bag. He tells the warrior that they will do the trade-off later, and he agrees, grabbing Chika and running away. One guy from Gillette's team decides to pursue them, while the man controlling the monster birds decides to keep his focus on Toru. Toru and Darari are having a hard time fighting all the monsters on their own, and Sticky asks him to untie her and give her sword back so that she can also fight. Toru realizes that this is the only option they have right now, and he cuts her ropes and returns the sword with Stick joining the fight. They quickly defeat the monsters and head back to their car, where Dominica is waiting for them. She thinks Sticky is Cha and asks when she changed her outfit, and Tu tells her that things are really complicated and he will explain them to her later. In the meanwhile, he wants to get the car out of rubble, but Akari reminds him that it won't be of any use because it needs magic power to work, and neither of them has magic. Dominica says that she can use magic, so she will drive the car. If Toru promises to fight her later, he agrees, so she turns into her monstrous form and tosses away the rubble, much to Sticky's shock. On the other hand, Monkey D. Goofy loses track of Cha's group and he returns to the Beast Tamer, who is still shocked that Toru and his friends killed so many monsters easily. He knows about there being multiple Chas and says that dealing with 2 Cha groups was impossible for both of them. He suspects that both of them are fake because there can only be one real princess. But Monkey D. Goofy wonders if all of them are real, and the Emperor named them all Chika because he couldn't come up with another name. They inform Gillette about this, but he gets an order from his boss to settle some dispute between the government and the farmers. Instead, he reluctantly follows the orders, leaving the pursuit of Chika on hold. Meanwhile, Toru and Sticky are alone, as Ari has gone to gather information in the market. Sticky asks Toru if he is a mercenary, and he affirms. She tells him that she wants to hire him and she is ready to pay him more than Chika is paying. She says that one day she will restore the empire and pay him as much as he wants, but Toru tells her that he won't betray Chika for money. He tells Sticky that Merkmare Aries work for money, but they are loyal to their masters till the contract is over. Sticky knows that mercenaries also like to fight, and she tells him that she can give him the opportunity to fight as much as he wants. She says that she has clear goals and no hesitation, so Toru will benefit if he serves her. He begins to wonder if he should switch jobs and tells Sticky that he will think about her offer soon. Ari returns from the city and says that she made arrangements for a hostage exchange at the city square in the evening. When evening arrives, both groups are at the city square, but the sniper from Sticky team is positioned far away. Sticky once again asks Toru to switch masters, but he refuses. He tells her that she is strong physically and mentally, but his Chika is a weakling who is too trusting. He believes that she needs him much more, and that is why he is going to serve her. In the end, they exchange the hostages with that, and Cha is not pleased that Toru has a boring reaction on seeing her again while they are talking. The sniper takes aim at Cha to shoot her, but she suddenly realizes that the Akari with them is not real. It is too late for her because Ari was out to hunt her. The sniper dodges her attacks, and then jumps down the building shooting a flashbang at her, and then swinging away like Spider-Man. Ari tries to follow her, but gets trapped by rubble, so she returns to Toru and others who are near the car. Dominica was impersonating Ari to confuse the other group, and she is amused by the fact that Toru chose Cha and not Sticky. Soon after that they drive away, and Cha is feeling depressed because she has leered that there are many clones of her out there, and she can't be sure if she is the real one. Toru tells her that it doesn't matter, because she was the first Cha he met and he wants to serve her. He tells her that he will defeat anyone who tries to harm her, even if it is other Chas. Just as he says that Sticky and her warrior friend arrive in front of their car and Chika applies the brakes, Toru asks them what the hell they want, and the warrior says that his master wants him to serve her. He asks him to bring the remains of the emperor, his sister, and the dragon along, and they can form a big and happy party. Toru asks what will happen to Chika if he joins them, and Sticky says that the world doesn't need 2 of them. Toru says that he is going to fight them in that case, and he immediately jumps out of the car to face them. Sticky and her friend attack him first, but he blocks their attack and reaches close. However, he is fighting against 2 people at the same time and gets pushed back quickly. Ari can't help him either because she is targeting the sniper who wants to settle the score as well. She lures her away from the battlefield with explosive knives, while Toru is driven into a corner. Luckily, Chika has prepared a flashbang spell to help him out, and she blinds the enemies, giving Toru time to say his spell and transform in his transformed state. He easily overpowers the warrior and Sticky, forcing them to use a smoke bomb and retreat. Akari also returns there just then because the sniper got away, and Cha comes running to check up on them. They drive away from the place quickly, and Toru says that things are getting more serious now. Not only do they have to fight against people who are trying to stop them, but there are also other Chas who want to steal the remains they already have. He begins thinking of a plan to effectively deal with this problem, and at the same time, Sticky and her friends watch them from a cliff. She declares that the world doesn't need multiple Chas, and one day she will defeat everyone and complete her mission.